subscriber. Gracie here. I hope you all are doing all right. I'm doing amazing myself. Thank you so very much to the new subscribers and the returning subscribers on the channel. Thank you so very much for your support to me on here. Means a lot, again a lot to me. I don't take any of you for granted. And to the members on the channel, thank you so much for doing me amazing. You'll thank you so very much once again. Yes, today's episode, man, I watched and listened to this and it got me into my feelings. I don't even know. Anywho, I don't know what we did to people to deserve this. You know what? The most unfortunate part, as much as I am smiling, yeah, we have people that still hold the same ideologies about us. But also, one thing that is so, I don't know how to feel about it, but there's that exposure that is happening. There's that guilt that is eating people up. And they are coming out to tell on themselves. I was that one person that after reading all the history and all the atrocities that happened to our people, I asked myself, is there any day when these people are going to have to reach a time where they have to pay? Do they feel any kind of guilt? Is there anything that really, really makes them uncomfortable after looking and reflecting back on the things that they have done to the melanated queens and kings? But apparently, there's so many reports and experiences of people that are being haunted. Yeah. By, of course, what they refer as the ghosts of the slaves, of the black people that they tormented, and all of that. But also of the people that they committed so much. This brother in this video has such a compelling story to tell. I want you to watch it. Of course, we are going to have something to say about it.
Okay, quick story that has me literally shaking right now. So for context, I drive trucks and I stop at this Denny's to grab a coffee because I'm addicted to caffeine. I went in there to get my coffee to go and then I walked to the bathroom, but as I'm walking to the bathroom, it's this old guy sitting to the left with about 12 people that's celebrating his 89th birthday. I got a call from my dispatcher and he was like, yo, you can chill, no rush, they're not ready for the freight, so you can relax a little bit. Sat down, ordered some food, so now I'm sitting like across from the guy that's celebrating his birthday. Time goes by, I'm down there at the end of my meal and everybody that basically came to celebrate with him had left, so now it's just him and his wife. So as I get up to go wash my hands, I see him and I give him a smile. I'm like, happy birthday, young man, 89. That's a lot of memory to have. Here's the thing, I don't even know why I said that. He could have had Alzheimer's. I'm not even sure what I meant by that. But that's what I said. And he said, well, thank you, young man. And he smiled and he kind of just stared at me and I just walked back there and washed my fucking hands. So I come back and his wife is gone. She's talking to some other lady that goes to the same church they do. And he sees me, he says, come here, come here, come here. And I said, yes. And he said, there are way too many things that I wish I could forget. And I said, yeah, man, you make it to damn near 100 years old. I'm pretty sure you got a handful of regrets. And he looked at me with the most serious look ever and said, you have no idea. Well, now I'm curious. Do tell. He said, you know, I used to be a firefighter through the 60s and 70s. I said, that's what's up. That's a very commendable job. And he said, yeah, it should be. He said the 60s and 70s was a different time in every way possible. You know that, right? And I'm just like, yeah, no shit. He said back in those times, I was a way different man, and who knew that we'd get to the point where we are in society today and I'd be feeling the way I'm feeling about the decisions that I made back in those times. So I'm like, man, if you won't fucking tell me, bro. So right before he took a very long pause, he looked at me and said, back in those times, it was very common for firefighters that looked like me to leave people that looked like you in burning houses and buildings and horrible situations just to say they couldn't get to us. He said more times than he'd like to admit, he would hear screaming black people and children in burning buildings and houses and apartments and stores and cars, and he would literally just pretend he didn't hear it. He said his last time doing it was when he made eye contact with the baby that he deliberately went into a building to save and deliberately didn't. And he said that was the last time he did it, and he quit that year. He said the nightmare still hasn't stopped. He still hasn't forgiven himself, and therapy helps, but it's still a living nightmare to have those memories. And I guess that shit just shocked me so much because when it came to firefighters, I never thought of them like that. Like when it came to like police officers, lawyers, and judges, and everybody else, we knew they didn't give a fuck. Especially police officers, we knew they didn't give a fuck about us. But I don't know why that didn't click to me that no, it was everybody that hated us. Everybody. Everybody had a hand in deliberately making our lives worse. When I calmed down from being mad enough to want to pull the plug on his ass, I thought about it. And I was like, of course they did this. Of course they did this shit. Duh. Like, why was I even shocked? Like, of course. But it is something that I cannot think about for too long, because that visual of you fake going to save somebody and not saving them because of the color of their skin, and the entire 911 understanding because, oh yeah, you couldn't get Jamal, oh well, just another one gone. Like that shit.
I can't lie. I had to put myself together after watching and listening to this. This is the most disturbing thing that I've ever had to listen to and watch. And I can only imagine what our people went through. One thing about doing such content and discovering, especially coming from Uganda, where there's not so much history being taught about, slavery and the Jim Crow, literally about so much evil that happened in the Americas, in the UK, in the Caribbean, like literally everywhere where our people had to be taken. The most difficult part right now for me is to discover these things happened. I'm a very calm and composed human. I am. But I cannot lie to you. This sparks so much rage. This sparks so much rage in my heart. And I am a very good person, by the way. I am very forgiving. But I don't want to be lied to. That's one of the hardest things that I have to deal with. I don't deal with liars. So getting to see this and listening to such stories and imagining that worse and worst happened, it's unimaginable, guys. But again, those are not the only stories. There are stories where nurses in hospitals were instructed to unalive black people.
I'm 77 years old, and I'm a retired nurse. Back in the 60s, I was working in a hospital where we were told to deliberately allow the black patients to pass away. It was a terrible and discriminatory practice, but I followed orders. Now, I live with regret and have frequent nightmares about it. It has affected me greatly. I have trouble sleeping at night, and I feel guilty for not standing up against such injustice. I have carried this burden for years, and I don't know what to do about it. This is the first time I have shared this with anyone. My husband was a firefighter, and he too was told to allow blacks to burn.
People have no problem with compromising the moral and ethical values and standards, but they would, like, even when they swore, they took an oath and they said they are going to preserve life. It is disturbing. For me, it is disturbing. And the reason as to why it is tough on me is because all the white people that I have had to see in my country, I'm not saying they are bad, okay? But all of them have had to appear good. Probably they are the only nice ones, all right? Maybe they are the only nice ones. Now, of course, I have met some good white people. Yeah, every race has bad people. That's the truth. But when it comes to mass genocides and atrocities and unaliving and plundering and stealing, taking over, owning, like dismantling, destabilizing, I think these people, the record, they take that trophy. Because as much as we have black people, we don't have a group of black people that have gone to steal other people's stuff and take over, unalive, racially discriminate, and all of that. So that is what makes it a difference. That's why I was saying that many of the people that we get to see, to one extent, that our brothers be like, you know, y'all worship white men and all of that. The version that we see here, it's like the best version of whiteness. Best version. Of course, there are those that come to exploit and all of that. And you know me, I am not, biased at all. I talk about everything. Whatever I see, I come here and I talk about it. But the most difficult thing is to think that this person is the most pure, holy person. But then you get to see what people look like him do to people like me. And you start rethinking everything you've ever thought of. I don't know if I should be excited because they are being haunted. Because I am not the one here to judge. But I think God is a perfect judge. He lets this happen to them. Yeah. He lets things happen. He knows where to, which switch to press to get those that think they are high and they are untouchable. And to date, we are still experiencing people, our own people, that lose their lives in birth. People that still get misdiagnosed. People that are still unalived brutally by the police. People that are incarcerated unjustly. People that literally still face racism and all that type of injustice. I don't think these things ended. It's just that now I think there's a bit of, us being able to talk about things. But imagine when people didn't have a chance. And that's why it does not make sense to me that when black people come out to ask for reparations, the palm coloreds always come out to say, well, we are not responsible because we are not the same people that did this to, your ancestors. We are also just here. But generational wealth is not accumulated in one day. You had to accumulate generational wealth to an extent that most of what you have was gotten from the ancestors that worked. They are the ones off their backs. You are enjoying all of what you have, and you expect black people to be on the same equal footing. Even when they built their own black towns, you had to destroy them because you never wanted them to be equal. So it does not make sense that with all the injustices, with all the evil, at least, because here's the thing. This is one thing that I believe personally, that if you deal with someone unjustly, God wants people to deal with each other justly. And if you know you are wrong, make sure you make the wrongs right. And how are you going to start doing that? Give them reparations. Maybe your children are not going to suffer. Maybe you're not going to have those nightmares. I've seen videos of people in hospitals on their, sleeping bed. They're about to breathe their last. And they are haunted. They don't even live this life peaceful. One thing I can say again, God is a perfect judge. There's nothing that passes his eye. Nothing. Again, we have bad people in every race. But if we are to count innocent blood, the West, the imperialists, those people, they have done more. I heard one white man tell me, Uganda must repent because of the Indians that we chased out of our country. And because of the, that we have mass blood that was spilled on our country, so our country is under a curse. And by then I wasn't that much aware so much. But I pray that one person comes to me and tells me that. I will ask them if they have really repented and asked for forgiveness. Because unfortunate, there's no moral apology that has been passed to black people. And the best apology is to compensate the loss, not words. Because words are not going to do anything. But again, listening to such stories, I can't lie. They are disturbing. Very. When you know who is for you and who is not for you, you know better. Anyways, my people, what do you think of the video? Put your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me see you in another video. My name is Gracie. I love you all. Bye.